For our project, we are going to have a celebrity photo and we have a piece of cardstock. Our cardstock is actually going to be our background. So before we do anything, we need to have our name and our code small on the bottom of the back of our paper. So I'm going to write my name, slide it across the side, write my code, then I can flip that over, and I'm going to cut out my celebrity. I chose to have LeBron James. So now I'm going to use my scissors, and I want to make sure that I have little chops with the scissors, and I turn the paper every time I need to turn. You're not chomping all the way down with the scissors. If you have little baby chomps, and you can listen to it, the sound of it, that's going to make a nice, good cut around my character. So now, I need to glue this onto here. I'm going to flip this over on the back. Roll up your glue stick just a little bit. You don't need a ton of glue, tiny little bit up. And then you need to wiggle the glue stick back and forth just around the edge. You don't cover the whole thing in glue. You just wiggle back and forth with your glue stick and travel around the edge. If you just trace it once, like this, that's not going to be enough glue. You really do have to push the glue stick back and forth. I'm leaving some space between my glue stick and the edge because I don't want to get glue all over my table. And I want to stand up, flat hands, and push with my body weight. I'm not smacking, I'm just pushing forward with my body weight to hold this down. I want to make sure I check it, make sure it's all staying. Now I'm going to roll the glue stick back down before I put the lid on, and I can begin to decorate where I want some of these details and embellishments to go. If you look at some of our artists' work, you can do a lot of different things. You can kind of do outlines. You can draw emphasis by making one thing stand out. So maybe I want the basketball to stand out, or if I want his headband to stand out, or the number. I can figure out which parts I want to stand out. I can also decorate the background if I want to, but everything has to be a straight line when you're decorating. So even though the basketball is round, I have to make small straight lines around the edge of it so that it'll stand out. So now that I'm getting more and more finished, I'm trying to find those empty spots. So like there's a huge empty spot here that I can draw something, huge empty spot over here maybe for something. Now I'm going to end up showing you how to take some of our lines that we designed and sew some of the details on. I know that you might not get to sew all of the lines on. That's why it's kind of nice that the drawing's still going to be there. Even if you don't get to it, it still looks done. So we're going to take our needle, our plastic needle, and this is called a needle threader. It's really just a folded piece of paper that kind of looks like a hot dog bun. So I'm going to take my needle threader, I'm going to feed the end of my yarn into my needle threader, kind of like a hot dog. You need to pinch it shut, and you're going to put that through the eye of the needle all the way through. And we'll start on one end. So I like to kind of put it in the middle so that it doesn't come undone very easily. Now you're going to take your paper and put it kind of towards the edge, off the edge of your table, and you're going to kind of poke a hole through the top where it's going to start and where it's going to end. So I put a dot at the start and the end point. Now that I have that there, I can put my thread through. And I can see on the other side where this is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And then I'm going to stop where it's really close to the end. And I'm going to tape that down with a small piece of tape. Just like this. Small piece of tape. I'm going to tape that down so it stays still. Alright. So now I can keep on sewing. Pull this through. So now I have that stitched there. I need to keep poking holes. So I go off the edge, poke where it's going to start, where it's going to end. So now I kind of need to come up through the bottom, pull it through. Poke 2 more holes. So when you're poking your holes, you start from the top, poke where it's going to start, poke where it's going to end. And now that this piece is done, this string is way too long, so I'm just going to cut it and take another tiny piece of tape, tape this onto the back so it stays down. And now I can move on to my next piece. Looks like this hole ripped because it was too close to this one. So I have to problem solve basically by sewing through here. And then I'm going to sew this way. I'm just going to hold the other piece down. I think what I'm going to do is once the 2 pieces are through, I'm just going to support it with a little piece of tape so that it stays where it's at. Then I can kind of keep going. Like I'm running low on string. If I run out, I just have to rethread, and I keep going, but I think I'm gonna make it.